FightHype.com here with the undefeated Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer, and got a great documentary from the looks of that trailer, June 2nd on Showtime, The Book of Ward. It had cameos of everyone from Stephen A. Smith to Jim Lampley to even brother Nazeem Richardson, which leads me to ask, how long did this documentary take to make, and how proud are you of how it's come out?
I don't know where to start the process, but because we started filming probably around 2016. Like, I started nudging my guys and said, man, like, get this footage, get this, we're gonna need this, put this on a hard drive, we save it. But probably like the official process, probably sometime in 17, we started getting interviews, and we got like 42 interviews, and obviously we couldn't use them all, but we got a lot of heavy hitters, man. Not just name heavy hitters, but like people that mean something to me. And Nas is definitely one of them. And I'm so glad we were able to get that interview before he passed. And just to see him talk his talk in that trailer, and then ultimately when you guys watch the documentary, man, it's just, man, it's a blessing.
Mm-hmm. You've got some FightHype footage on there.
Some FightHype footage. Yeah.
Well, how proud are you with the final product, how it came out?
I'm happy, man. I'm pleased. I'm very hands-on with this kind of stuff, man. I was working with Showtime and Spring Hill and Uninterrupted, and just the whole team, man. Jamal and Matt Riz and Rachel Newbeck, Deontay Thompson, and Mav Carter and LeBron. Like, we worked together the whole time, and it's difficult, man. It's like the media had a certain view of me, not all, but a chunk of media that, oh, he's not interesting. Man, I had more stuff than I could use, and that was a challenge in this process. Is that typically when you do something like this, you want to have an anchor, like, this is what we're going to talk about. And we had so much to talk about. There's so many different facets of my life, so many different directions we could go. So finding that core thing to like anchor down on was key. And then you got to from there go through the process of what I want to share, what am I willing to share, what am I comfortable sharing, and what do I want to share this about my dad, do I want to share this about my mom. And we shared a lot, man. It's gonna be a lot of eyebrow raising stuff, it's gonna be a lot of shocking stuff in there, but not just for shock value, but just because it's my life. And I'm excited, man. It's around the corner, man. June 2nd on Showtime. It's gonna premiere. I'm gonna try to do a couple of viewings before then, so I'll let everybody know about that. But man, it's here, man. I'm happy.
It's better to bear it all, right? Even the ugly.
Yeah.
And it's called the Book of Ward, which is clearly referenced in the Bible. So in those terms, what fruit does this document? What's the crux of this doc? What fruit does it bear for the viewer?
Man, I think you see, my story is we kind of did it in reverse. And what I mean is like, when the world first saw me in 2004, I was fresh off the streets, just gave my life back to God and was trying to figure things out. And I'd also studied boxing as a young kid, and I didn't want to lead with, my struggles and my parents and the drugs. And so my thing was like, man, just embrace me for who I am and just accept me for who I am. And then it got to a point where it was like, okay, it's time to tell the story. And you're going to see my parents struggle with drug addiction, alcoholism. You're going to see me struggle with drugs, alcohol. Yeah, that look you just gave right there.
Like selling them or doing them?
Both. I was in the streets, man. And I wasn't in the streets for a long time, but I was out there, man. And the devil had me, man, for a period of my time. And them same generational curses that were on my family, they were in my life too, and they were trying to take me out. It was almost no Olympics. It was almost no turning pro. It was almost no Hall of Fame. I was this close, man, to missing that. We detail that process. We show the generational fallout. We see that stuff, but then we also see redemption. My dad didn't die a drug addict. My mother's not a drug addict. She's clean and sober. She's in my life right now. And obviously I'm not ripping and running in the streets. So I think you get the why behind the what in this documentary.
You were born again for real, because you kind of still have this look from the streets of Oakland that this dude was
he kind of still had that look.
Like you did 20 years in the pen or something, but you did it. But
dang, I look that rough?
Yeah, there's a look you have still within you. But maybe it's lessening as you get.
But that's in my eye. That's just me, man. That comes from my daddy and my grandfather. Yeah, that's just.
I take the S off of it. Now he's just giving me the OG look. So,
yeah.
But just because, man, you've done a lot of media, and I just want to talk a little about boxing before we get up out of here. Looking back to Benavidez plant, they fought here. And Plant went in there and did that. I'm not trying to give you credit away from him, but watching him have success, especially in those early rounds, extending that lead hand, stabbing to the body, did you see your influence in him in that fight?
I mean, maybe so,
Yeah.
Maybe so, you got a good coach, man. Breadman and Caleb is a student of the game, and so I'm sure he probably stole something. We all steal, It's a little bit here, a little bit there, so it may be some influence there, but man, he showed a lot of heart, and he fought a good fight. Benavidez was just a better man on the night, and I think Caleb ran out of gas a little bit, and you can't do that against Benavidez. He woke up, and man, it was crazy how patient he was, because Plant was winning a lot of them rounds. He won a lot of those early rounds.
Low-key having a masterpiece for 5 rounds.
And for Benavidez to kind of weather that storm and not panic, you got to give him credit for that.
Based on what you saw from David in the fight, who would your favorite fights Canelo?
I mean, it's a reason Canelo hasn't fought him, and nobody really likes fighting a guy that has a lot of output like that, especially when you're not a guy who has a lot of output. And Canelo's economical with his punches. He relies a lot on power, timing, skill. He'll let guys waste their energy, and then he'll come on, and he believes that the power and his accuracy is going to bail him out, and it has, for many, many fights. So nobody really wants to fight a dude like Benavidez, and you have to add in his height and his reach. And he's not a scary fighter. He's looking for the smoke. That's a lot you got to contend with. So if they fought, I know Canelo's going to come ready, and he's probably going to be, what he needs to be able to compete with Benavidez. But, man, I think you got to lean toward Benavidez, man. I don't say you got to. I just think that with the output, I would like to see how Canelo deals with that. Because Benavidez isn't just throwing the throw. He's got power on those punches. But, a good boxer who understands distance and range and who has the conditioning and the physical strength, as you saw early on with Plant, they can cut their work rate down. So Canelo's not just going to stand there. Canelo's got a great boxing mind. He's going to do his thing. He's going to be skillful, and Benavidez isn't going to be able to get those shots off. So I don't want to say you got to favor Benavidez. I want to say, man, that's a great matchup stylistically, and I hope you get a chance to see it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully the winner can join the ranks of Ward, Calzaghe, Jones, and Tony as the top of 68 history.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
But we could put Canelo in that top 5 because he got